So this is my review of the Stella Artois on the. This is my review of the Stella Artois on the Perfect Draft. Yeah, I think this is probably by far one of my favourite beers. I think you just saw the video of me pulling the pint, and this is what it looks like in the actual pint glass. This is one of the Stella glasses. See, very lively in this glass. Absolutely fantastic. The head sits on pretty well. You know, 2-finger head. Quite clear, not cloudy beer, not like the IPAs. Quite nice, really. Cold out of there as well. The Perfect Draft chills it to 3 degrees, and you can keep the keg in there for up to 30 days. It's very rare that you see it go down to 30 days. I think the lowest number I've had on there is, I think, about 22. And that was when I had something in there that I wasn't so keen on. But the Stella and the other lagers generally don't tend to sit in it for too long. But yeah, so let's get into it. So first off, smell wise, it smells like a lager. It smells as what you expect in, which is a beer, which is quite nice. I've tried the IPAs and I struggle with them, if I'm honest. It's that aftertaste. But the lagers, I'm a big fan of the lagers. I don't tend to find that Stella is probably one of the most popular beers on the Perfect Draft. If you're looking at all the Facebook groups and ask for a lager to be recommended, this is one of the ones that generally tends to come up first. When I bought the machine, I actually got a keg of Stella with it, and I went with it because the thing with the Perfect Draft is, as well as it's known, the beers are not. If you look at machines like the Sub, for example, they have Heinekens and, you know, all sorts of other beers that you can generally buy in the supermarket. Try before you buy. A lot of the stuff that you get on the Perfect Draft, there's a lot of German sort of beers on there, sort of big into the Oktoberfest stuff, and we've got some of those coming on the channel again shortly. So watch out for those videos. But today it's Stella. This is actually my 3rd keg of Stella, not in the same day, but I obviously bought the machine and it came with a keg of Stella. And at the time, and it might still be the case now, to buy another keg of Stella, you can only buy them in packs of 3s. So I wanted to be careful with the beer that I was buying, because I really didn't know at the time. And so I just bought another pack of 3 kegs of Stella. And a keg holds 6 litres, which works out to about 10.5 pints. And I've not been let down with either of them, to be honest. So if you're looking to buy a Perfect Draft and you're looking for a good lager, the Stella, you can't go wrong. It's 5%, so it's stronger than the one that you buy here in the pub or in the tins or cans in the UK. And it tastes a bit different as well. This is one that's properly brewed in the country of origin, so it does taste a bit different to stuff that's brewed here in the UK under license. So anyway, that's enough of me rabbiting on. Let's get in and have a sip, and I'll tell you what I think. Oh, now that is a good pint. Very good pint. First off, it's very crisp. Very easy drinking. I think one of the big things that you seem to think when someone offers you a lager, or you're buying a lager and it's like 5%, here in the UK, that's seen as quite strong. A lot of the lagers that you generally tend to buy on tap and in cans and stuff generally tend to be between sort of around the 4 or 4.5. You know, your Carlins, your Fosters, Stella. It's all a bit lower. You think 5% is probably going to have a bit of a kick to it, but this has no kick, so you can drink this quite comfortably. There's no kick. It's so cold as well. So cold, 3 degrees. Yeah, that's so easy to drink, goes down so easy, and it's refreshing as well. So if you're having a barbecue or something like this, keeping this in there, you know, for a few hours, getting it down to 3 degrees and having 1 or 2 of these with your meat and stuff like that, amazing. If you've got friends and family over and you're pouring out, giving them this stuff to drink, they'll be coming back next year or next barbecue, I can guarantee you. Very easy to drink, tastes amazing. As far as lagers go, it's just absolutely perfect. I'm never really a Stella drinker, if I'm completely honest. As shameful as it sounds, I would generally tend to, when I was a youngster, I used to drink a lot of like Carling and Fosters and stuff like that. I like more of the premium beers nowadays as you get a little bit older. And this one, as far as kegs go off the off the perfect draft, forget about what you've drunk in the shop or in a can. It's completely different. I mean, I love the lacing around the glass. Yeah, you look at that. That is one nice beer. I just can't believe how cold it gets. It is literally, these perfect draft machines are brilliant because it is literally just like having a pint in a pub. So cold. The beer is so fresh. Yeah, it tastes. It's not like a can. It's not like a bottle. It is definitely a lot, a lot better. So I love it. We'll have another. So I would say, if you're looking to buy your perfect draft and you're looking at your first keg and you're a lager drinker and you've not heard of the Lambrals and the Spatons like myself of this world, it's hard to find bottles of it in your local supermarket and local shops. Stella's a good shout, a very good shout. And I'd say a couple of tips for you. This is someone that's owned a perfect draft now for a little while. A couple of tips. When it comes down to your glasses, wash them, keep them very clean. I put mine through the dishwasher, some people say don't. Make sure you wash them, make sure it's a clean glass every time. I generally tend to, in between pints, put it under the tap, wash it out, get all the lacing out. Oh, excuse me, very gassy. Get all of that lacing out because, look how lively that is, even now, like a little tornado in there. Wash it out because you'll get a better pint out of it. You won't get as much head and stuff like that. Some people freeze the glasses or put them in the fridge. That's another good shout, another good tip. When it comes down to the beer as well itself, I always recommend storing it in your fridge. I generally tend to find that if you keep it in the fridge about a day or so before you're going to use it, that normally drops it down to temperature. You can then put it straight into the perfect draft machine, and you generally tend to find that it will get down to temperature pretty quick. I had one in there the other day that was stored for about 2 or 3 days. I had an Oktoberfest party and I pulled it out, I put it in the actual machine and it was ready pretty much within minutes, to be honest. If you put a room temperature keg in one of those machines, it drops about 1 degree an hour. So if it's sort of 20 degrees, you could be looking at 17 odd hours before it's going to be drinkable. So try to pre-chill it before you put it in. And I'd probably say the last tip would be, when it comes down to the kegs, obviously, depending what they're like when you first pull them, the first pint or so could be quite frothy. Depends how much movement it's had. I generally tend to find, if you can, store it in the position that it's going to be in the machine, so upright. And then I'll probably say, when you do come to put it into the machine, out of your fridge, treat it like a newborn baby. Delicate hands, place it down softly, put it in nice and softly. You'll find that, your pints will be a little bit more settled. You generally tend to find that if you do put a keg in and you leave it a day and then go back, it's absolutely mint. Like this pint, the pint that we poured here, there was hardly any head on that. I had to even drop the glass at the end, kind of bring it down from the 45 to flat, drop it down for beer to come in to get a bit of head on it. That's how good it is. So, yeah. And the other thing I love about the perfect draft machine, especially with these glasses, you can get these glasses. You can buy these anywhere. These ones are great because they do help keep the beers lively. Use any beer in it, any lager. It's brilliant. And also with the perfect draft machines, you can put sort of like these magnetic stickers on for the beer that you're drinking that's in it. So a bit like a pub, if you like. If you've got friends over and you're lucky enough to have more than one of these machines, and you've got Stella on one and you've got IPA on the other, you can have the stickers for each. It's quite clear to anyone coming over what beer they're going to be pulling. I do tend to find as well that friends that have used it love the idea with the novelty of pulling their own pint like at a pub, and that went down really well. So, so review otherwise, I'm not just on the machine, but on the beer itself. This is probably one of my favourite beers, if I'm completely honest. It's really easy drinking. It doesn't drink like a 5% beer. To be honest with you, it's just an easy drinking beer. It's 5%. So you probably don't want to drink too many of them on a school night, but it is really easy to drink and it does taste amazing. And if you're one of these people that you know, I love going to the pub because I like a pub pint, because you appreciate a draft pint, then this kind of machine and something like Stella, if you're a lager drinker, is something I think you're really going to like. It is probably one of the better ones that they've got. There are others out there, there's more reviews coming. But yeah, to save you searching on the internet or Facebook groups, yeah, it's definitely one of the ones. And probably one of the last things I'd probably say is the great thing about this machine is obviously there's a lot of people that have got them, believe it or not, and there are local shops, you know, maybe in your area that may sell the kegs. But get yourself onto the Facebook groups. I think one of them is the Perfect Draft. Tips, and I think it's tips or something. I'm a member of that group, and you actually get a 15% discount when you order 3 kegs, which is quite nice. So, you know, when you're doing things like your keg returns, so if you've got 3 kegs returned, that's 15 quid. £5 for every keg that you return, so 15 quid. You buy another 3 with your group discount as well. You know, you can be looking at as much as £30 off, you know, each time. So, you know, the kegs generally tend to vary between sort of 30 and £40. Stella's one of the cheaper ones, believe it or not, about £31 something. So it generally tends to work out, you know, kind of £2 a pint. You know, in this day and age, if you're going to go and buy yourself a pint of Stella, you're going to be paying, what, 4 or 5 quid for what's classed as a premium beer. Yeah, half price. So, excuse me, it's very gassy, but it is really nice. So, I'm going to say, it's a really good lager. I'm going to leave it there and say I'm going to give this one, I'm almost going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's not quite a 10, it's not the best lager I've ever had in my life, but it's definitely an 8.5, a strong 8.5, pushing towards a 9 to be honest. It's a good one, so if you're thinking of buying a Perfect Draft, Stella would definitely be a good shout for yourself. Thanks very much.